I guess the praise and worship team was planning that for the first Sunday of Christmas, first Sunday of December, Christmas start, right?
Yes.
So Christmas start already. We celebrated. And of course, as we acknowledge his presence, we also give him all the glory, all the honor, all the praise this morning.
Amen.
We have to do that. You know, that is very important. And once again, we give God thanks for taking us through this week that has come by. How was your week this week? Any challenges? Of course, right. Very good. We will talk about some challenges as well as we go along. But nevertheless, God has been good to us. And that's why we're back here in the house of the Lord this morning. Amen? Yes, right, good. So we give God thanks for his grace and his mercy. His grace and his mercy and his favor. Plenty of us are favored here this morning. I hope that all of us will be favored, of course. And of course, you all know that next week is our Christmas dinner, right? Amen. Amen? Oh, just get quiet. I thought I would hear amen. Amen. Have some food, right? And I'm looking forward to being here and of course to have fellowship with each and every one of you all. You know, it's okay sometimes to approach me. If you don't see me come by you, you can always approach me at any point in time if you need to talk about anything. Sometimes it's hard on a Sunday to really reach everybody. So if you don't see me coming to you, it's probably because I'm talking to somebody else, but that's fine. You could just stay and talk to me. That's always a good thing. As we share in the fellowship next week, don't, of course, before we get into that, don't forget to remind anyone that you know that we will not be having services in the morning. Correct? Sister Nadra in the back? Yeah? Right? You know, the odd thing is that the day that we wouldn't have service on the Sundays, the day that someone will come and say, boy, I was here, and you didn't have no service. So, I don't know if we might have a pop-up sign here. We'll try to pop-up sign here. Try to pop-up sign. Yeah, well, the WhatsApp is still an inclusive group, as I would say. It's not the entire church. So, putting it there is, half of, when people come, they wouldn't give it this. So, we put it in WhatsApp, but we have to put it somehow outside as well. I think last year that happened, huh? Someone came and it was like, oh, where the church gone? All right. And so looking forward to that. And even when I think back about the dinners that have passed by, it's such it's an unfortunate situation sometimes, because sometimes I want to be everywhere. I want to talk to everybody. But yet, they'll put a table somewhere on the side or in the front for the pastor and his family and so forth. And I love that. I love to spend time with my family. But I also love to spend time with you all as well too and be in the crowd. So maybe I will put myself in the middle or something this time. I don't know how it works, right? But of course, as I say, we look forward to what this Christmas this Christmas time is going to bring in that fellowship and so forth. This week, I read an article about a man who was stabbed. I don't know if you read the article on Trinidad Express. A man who was stabbed and he was killed because, well, obviously stabbed, killed, because he did bring some food for a man on the street, which he would routinely, of course, bring the food for that man, right? And it kind of touched my heart a little bit when it hurt my heart when I think about it. I think that man was stabbed because he didn't bring that food for that man. And I want to encourage you to take some of the warnings. I made some warnings last week if you weren't here. Just some basic warnings about you're going in and you're coming out, what times you're going in. Don't be exactly on time all the time. You can try to be on time for church, but don't be exactly on time when it comes to when you're leaving your house early in the morning. Early in the morning is dark and so forth. I don't want to regurgitate what I said last week. But I want to encourage you, of course, to take that warning as seriously as you could. And the wisdom that God has shared with me to share with you seriously as well too. And I said on a previous occasion that even in the process of doing good, that one has to be careful of such a sacrifice. And you say, well, what does that mean? Because one can in fact lose one's life in the process of giving. Yes. And I was reminded of that this week. I was reminded of how many times that good man that died, how many times he would have fed that same man who killed him. And it's one thing to live. It is important that we live by faith, but we also have to live with a certain amount of wisdom. And it's a match between both. In fact, going by faith, going by faith does not necessarily mean that you are in that will of God. You could go out somewhere and say, by faith, that bullet is not going to come to hit me, but that bullet could come. And so it's a very dangerous thing when I speak about it, because I know that we have to have faith. We have to have faith in the existence of God, and we have to know that God is in control. But we have to be very careful at the meantime. It doesn't mean let your guard down. Faith never means let your guard down when it comes to the enemy. You have to understand that. If it is anything, faith is supposed to be keep your guard up when it comes to the enemy this morning. Very paradoxical, This life of being a Christian is a very paradoxical thing. It's like go through the Word of God and see there's two sides to everything and so forth. And I know that you might think when I say, about losing one's life in the process of giving, that is what a Christian does. Isn't it the job of a Christian to do that, to give freely? And it is true, it is the job of a Christian to give us freely. But in life, as I said, this is the great paradox of being a Christian. Knowing when to heed the call to act and when to heed the call to be cautious. I know everybody quiet here this morning. I might have started off a little cold this morning. But it is a very important thing. That applies to even how things are ordered. You say, well, as Christians, we have to go out into the world and preach the gospel. But even in that process, it has to have some order. In church, we have order. So it can't be that 10 million people just decide we're going outside somewhere, or we're going to take on here, and we're not too sure what is going to happen. So be very cautious on how we act, because the thing is that as a vibrant Christian, you want to go out into the world. You want to share the word of God, but you have to be very careful even how you do it. Because long ago, the preachers could come and they could talk about the sins of man and so forth. They could have condemned it to a certain extent, or at least the sinner outside in the world, and the sinner would be, they would feel guilty and they would come up and they would, give their life to Christ. But the times have changed as well too. I tell you, what I experienced 10 years ago, it is not the same anymore. Crusades are not the same anymore. I remember when crusades, lines upon lines of people would come up. When, even Pastor Ravi preached. This is back in the days when I was very small too. Small in size too, right? And nowadays, you'll be lucky sometimes if you find one will come up, or two will come up. Maybe out of shame, I understand, sometimes the shame, you don't want to come up, you don't want people to see, and so forth. But back then was a different time to know. We have to be very careful. God didn't change, but as humans, we may have changed. Our natures, our habits, all these things have changed. So as I say, be very careful in the process. And either way, as I said, knowing when to heed the call to act and when to heed the call to be cautious, either way, the enemy is consistently out to steal, kill, and destroy. That didn't change. That didn't change at all. And so when you know that the enemy is out to steal, kill, and destroy at all times, that means that you have to have your guard up at all times. Sometimes you lay your guard down, Sometimes my friend tell you, hey, don't worry, nobody has seen you, let me go and do that. Let me go and do this. But more and more I start to realize I have my guard up like nearly all the time. All the time I have to have my guard up. And the thing is, you cannot really have your guard up 100% of the time. That is where we come. Because with that faith, God also has his guard on your life as well. And this is what, this is what I started to realize in all this thing. So I don't plan to lecture on this, but only to highlight that every good, even through good deeds that was done with this man, all it took was for him to not be able to do a good deed one time. And that was the demise. And so remember that. Watch the good deeds that you do, but be careful of those that you don't do as well too. Those are lessons for me too, because I generally, even up to this week, usually I have change, as I say, change in the pocket. Everybody's had change in the pocket, right? And when a beggar come and so forth, you give them the change in your pocket, right? And this week, I had a little bit of change in my pocket. And I gave someone the change. But I realized that if I could have been in the same place as that man, what if I didn't give that person enough change? Would they have stabbed me as well? Just think about the situations that we go through in life. So you have to be, as I say, careful, very, very, very careful. And importantly, be very careful when dealing with potentially mentally affected people. You're not scorning them, but you have to be very careful. I was telling somebody, I say, but like for every square foot of Trinidad and Tobago, like it have a high density of mentally people who are mentally starved or mentally damaged in some way or the other. We have a lot of anger in this nation. We have a lot of anger. We have a lot of do-for-me. We do something. We have a lot of hurt. Maybe that hurt is what caused the anger and so forth. But we have a lot of it. And funny enough, I was thinking about my education. I was thinking about what does education do to me. Education is supposed to make me smart as a person, intelligent. But yet, I really can't remember in education, in schools, they're teaching us how to deal with hurt, how to deal with anger. And more I realize the purpose of the church. I realize the purpose of why we are here, because school doesn't give you everything. Life doesn't give you everything outside there. Maybe church, you could say, don't give you everything in terms of the excess with life, but it gives you everything you need to reach Almighty God this morning. And so this is one of the reasons why church is here. Church is here to open up your minds as well too. So I would encourage you don't have your children here this morning, encourage them to be here. I understand that the younger ones may not be able to handle what we're talking about, but if they are of the age that they are, mentally ready for it, bring them along, let them get something in them, because this could be a reminder to them as well too, that hey, you know what, God sees it if we don't see what is going on in their lives. All right, so one of the things I wanted to do this morning, I know that I am speaking to more the older crowd, the adult crowd, I would like to see. I wanted to have a look at the children this morning, not this morning literally, no, but during this week, look at your children and really look and see how they're dealing with stress, how they're dealing with all these different things. And you'll be surprised that if you throw yourself out at a different angle, you might see things in a different way. What might seem to be something normal might be very abnormal, just so accustomed seeing it in a specific way. So I want to encourage you, if they have rage, if they have anger, they have bitterness, guaranteed most likely 99% of the chance they get it from somewhere. And sometimes all they need is to talk it out. Sometimes all they need is to get it out of their system, and all they need is for somebody to tell them how to deal with it so that they don't go through for the rest of their life. But the thing about it is, the challenge about it is that sometimes in life, hurt and rage and so forth, it lingers for a very long time. You cut it in half by talking to them once, but you don't talk to them once and that's it. You have to consistently talk good things into them until they gradually get out of it this morning. And I feel that is what a lot of the times when we see these acts happening outside, that it was somebody who wasn't loved enough. I'm not saying love is everything, but majority of times it was somebody who was not loved properly or misunderstood when they were early in years. And I don't think I ever told you all one of the experiences. I know going on, but I need to mention this. It is something that always haunts me. There was a girl in standard 5 in my class, and she didn't perform well. I don't want to say she was not, she wasn't smart, because I don't believe that was the case. She wouldn't perform well in class. I don't know if you have ever experienced this. As I said, the older generation would experience this more. And every day that child used to have to come in standard 5. And every day she would get more than 5 wrong. And when you get more than 5 wrong, you get licks fit. Every day that child would come to school and get licks every day. And it never dawned on me that point in time, being young, I didn't realize what I was doing to that person. But when I think back now, I say, but she could have, she could have turned out very bad. I've never heard from her ever since. I tried to find out about her. I've never heard about her ever since. But we don't know these people were mistreated before, and the product of that has been mistreated. That is no excuse for, of course, committing murder and so forth, but it does tell you a lot about what happened to them and why they have that hatred and that anger and so forth in their hearts. So as with that being said, also be careful. You don't know what other people have gone through in their life. And sometimes you think, sometimes I think I right and I wrong by telling somebody, look, you're not supposed to do it this way. But I don't know if I wrong in the wrong for me. Because I don't know how they will retaliate in my point of correction. Because of what they are accustomed to as their correction. You understand? So they can take out their anger on us. So be very, very careful as we go through this season. Not just this season, but all seasons as well. And so we're talking about mental illness, and I'm nearly finished. We can eat and take nutrients to help our brain to perform better. But the Word of God programs our brain for how to perform better. This is what I start to realize about it. The knowledge from the Word of God, what God is saying to us. Because you can take fish oil, anybody take fish oil here? It's supposed to be good for you. It's good for your brain. But fish oil don't tell you to serve Jesus. You realize that, right? I know it's an obvious thing, but I didn't think about it this way. But when the Word of God gets into our hearts, which gets into our mind, because our mind and our heart, I believe, is linked in a way, it changes, it reprograms how the brain is going to do things. So you can take your fish oil. You can take the good things for your mind, but also take the Word of God, which is also good for your mind in a different way this morning. Amen this morning? Yes, I know, I say, you say, Pastor, you preach it to the crowd. But everybody here is reading the Word of God every day. I doubt everybody here is reading the Word of God every day. I doubt. Right? Sometimes you get too busy, you get busy with life, all these different things. And so that is why sometimes the Sundays to make up for the whole week. Sometimes the Sundays to make up for the whole week when we go through these chapters and so forth, you might be wondering why. It's to go through everything. And I don't have to judge anybody. Sometimes I don't read the Word of God for the day. Right? So the point is that this is the, and the reasons for being in church is also important. Right, so this is what I was thinking about this week. I was thinking, sometimes I wonder if we all had read the Word of God before the age of, say, around 12-ish. 12-ish, we mind absorbing things, eh? If the parent must have cuss, we're going to remember that cuss like that. Right? The mind soft at the age of 12. I actually believe that it might have made life different for us. If every single word, could you imagine? If every single word read the Word of God. And not just read the Word of God, but they were taught the Word of God. Explain, because as young people we may not understand everything. I feel that society would have been a little bit different. Not that it might not have had challenges, but I think it would have guilt and conscience and all these different things that would bring us back to God. So as I always say, start early with your children, even though your children. And sometimes, as hard as it has to be, you have to kind of put them down and tell them this, they have to take some of this. They wouldn't be able to take a whole hour, but maybe if they could take 15 minutes or something where you teach them a lesson, that is the most important part in it. I'm reminding you all, and I know that it is important that we do this. So I will digress this one. This morning, will you kindly turn to your neighbor this morning and you will repeat. Could you repeat after me? Some good stuff. I talk about warnings, now we have to talk about good stuff, right? My team in front here this morning. All right. Ready? Ready. I like how they're smiling now, man. Very good. But they're serious on me all the time. God is here. God is here. And ready to do great things in your life. We declare an increase upon your life. In the name of Jesus. We declare that this will be a season of great joy and happiness as we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We declare in the name of Jesus that we will have the victory. That no weapon formed against us shall prosper. That goodness, mercy, and grace will be upon us in the mighty name of Jesus. We declare continued blessings upon this entire church. And speak increased love, joy, peace, prosperity, protection, favor, long life, great health, great strength upon your lives today. In the name of Jesus. And all God's people says, Amen. We're tired after them drums, you know. All they have been working hard on them drums this morning. You know, for our person who rusty here, and I tell Sister Vashti, I say, Sister Vashti, go easy on me today. Go easy on me today. I end up with a beat there. I go warm up. This morning, I don't plan to be long. You know what's happening when I say that? I don't be long, right? As we continue along the journey of the Bible and what God has in store for us. Where were we? Anybody remember? Recently? Judges? I heard somebody say numbers. That's a whole month ago, eh? That's a whole month ago. Alright. Ah? Alright. So, so we want Judges. And we have pretty much finished the notable and remarkable accounts in the book of Judges. I say thank God. Probably been tired of all that Judges. And last week, as I said, I spoke about Samson, I spoke about Delilah, I spoke about the metaphoric aspects of temptation. Temptation and how I eat so much cake by Brother Ann and them. Recapped. The end result was that God was reminding me to remind you all as well not to play with our temptations, right? And just as Samson, you know, he dealt with temptations 3 times. The 4th time was more than, well, it's more than the 4th time. It was like about the 5th time, eh? And that was challenging to him. So in accordance with the order of the Bible, I decided to continue to read to the next book because we're going through the Bible. I'm going through the Bible. And I went to the next book and I found that the next book was a bit odd. Because the next book happened to be fruit. I see what Judges and root, that make, you know, like that, like 2 different contradictory. But God knows why. God knows why, you know, that comes in there. Because maybe we need a break, right? Maybe we need a break from all this Israelite fighting and this one doing that and Israelite falling down again and coming back up and it's the same story over and over. But don't worry. If you stay tuned, maybe next week we will go back into Samuel, right? I think Samuel, right? So we might go back into more interesting stuff, right? Not bacchanal, but interesting stuff, right? That's like the 2000th century old bacchanal or something, you know, with trouble and all this kind of thing. So however, you know, at first I couldn't really find anything remarkably different other than it was a different change in how it was written and what it was about, the root that